Be sure to subscribe for more content. What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about when $1 Luna Classic. Now, this is going to be a little bit different from my normal videos, which talk about trading Luna Classic and Luna 2.0 and all the technical analysis associated with them. Instead, this video is going to be for long-term holders of Luna Classic and people looking to invest long-term into this crypto. I just want to set the expectations straight. I want to make sure you know what you're getting into if you choose to invest it, because it's not going to be an easy journey there, nor is it going to be a quick journey to $1. At the end of the day, it still is around 3,400x from here. So, if you choose to join us on our journey, then that's going to be absolutely amazing to have you on board. But I just want to let you know what you're in for. So the first point I'm going to have to make is about the duration. When are we actually going to get to that $1 mark? And the true answer is probably not one that most people want to hear, but it's going to be a really long time. The time frame for this is going to be several years at the very, very least. And for investors looking to make quick money on Luna Classic, then do watch my videos on this channel, because they are about trading Luna Classic. But if your investing horizon is just a few months down the line, even if it's just a year down the line, then I would suggest that you do not invest into Luna Classic, because this is a super long-term game, and I do think the price could probably go down further before it's going to come back up. And the last thing you'd want to do is invest in Luna Classic right now and have to take it out 6 months down the line to, pay tax or something, and then end up taking it out when Luna is down, when your investment is down 50% or something like that. That is the last thing you want to do. So unless you have a long-term time horizon, and I'm talking at least several years at the very minimum, where you can just put away your cash and you don't need to use it, then do not invest in Luna Classic. Trade it instead, but do not invest, because as we can see here as well, we are still in a region where this coin is mega hyped up. Look at that volume. Look at the volume down there, and look at where the ultimate low of this was, and look at the ultimate high. We're around 8x up from that bottom there, which is similar returns to what Dogecoin saw back in April 2021. But eventually, the price hype here is going to fade off a little bit. The volume here is going to fade off a little bit. And we can see periods like this where there's little price activity, there's little volume. And this is going to be my second point. Don't expect it to be completely hyped throughout your whole journey. If you're investing long term, do not buy just because there's hype around Luna Classic right now. Get to know what Luna Classic developers are doing to kind of increase the volume here, because at the end of the day, this is what we need. We need that trading volume, and to get there, we need people to be buying and selling Luna Classic. And one of the ways to do that is to develop utility based on Luna Classic. So an NFT marketplace is a very good example of this. I have seen Luna Classic developing NFTs where people can buy and sell them, and obviously that will increase the trading volume of Luna Classic, because people have to exchange other crypto or fiat money into Luna Classic in order to buy those NFTs. So that is one way where utility is being added to this crypto and trading volume goes up. Developing Web3 based games is another way that utility is being added. I'm not super clued in myself as to all the programs and all the applications out there that are being built, but there are definitely going to be other YouTubers who know a little bit more about what's being developed on Luna Classic. So make sure you check out all other channels talking about that, and decide for yourself whether you think these apps, these programs, these games that are being developed on Luna Classic will have some mass appeal to them, will bring new people into the Luna Classic ecosystem, and therefore drive that trading volume up or not, and what the plans are of the community for the future of Luna Classic. Don't just buy into the hype if you're looking to invest in the very long term. And thirdly, do all your research on risks about investing into Luna Classic. What could potentially make the price go down or make it almost completely dead? So a good example of the risk is everything to do with Do Kwon. So Do Kwon at the moment has an arrest warrant for him, and when that announcement came out, even though Luna Classic is not associated with Do Kwon, it still affected the price of Luna Classic. We actually saw this drop here on Luna Classic of around 20% when that news came out of Do Kwon. So investors out there still think there's a relation between them, and of course, if he gets arrested, for example, and he gets put in prison, then we could see the price tank further as well. And if misinformation gets out there that, this Luna Classic has something to do with Do Kwon, then that could have a long-term impact in people's perceptions of investing into Luna Classic. So that I see as a risk factor. There are going to be other risk factors as well. Make sure you do some digging around as well. Look for all the risk factors that you think could affect Luna Classic, because at the end of the day, we will get to $1 Luna Classic only if the demand is still there. So anything that could possibly affect that demand for Lunar Classic, you know, for years down the line, will ultimately impede its progress to $1 Lunar Classic. So, you know, those are the 3 points that I just want to make. The kind of length, the kind of time horizon that you need to have on you, it's not going to be several days, it's not going to be several weeks or months or even several years. It's going to be a very, very long-term investment, and you need to be prepared for that. You need to put money away that you won't need for at least several years. Secondly, you need to see what they're developing on there, because this trading volume still needs to be high. If we go to zero trading volume, then we're not going to burn any supply, basically. So, you know, the more they're developing, the more utility that they're adding, that's going to be desirable for people to use, the more trading volume there is going to be on Lunar Classic, and the quicker the supply gets burnt. And number 3, the other risk factors as well that will affect the demand of Lunar Classic, such as Do Kwon, as I say, but other ones that could lower the demand for Lunar Classic in the long term. But come to your own conclusions about other risk factors that could potentially affect the demand of Lunar Classic in the long term. Do you deem that risk acceptable, or do you think it's too much at the moment? And of course, if you're investing in the long term as well, just be aware that there is a conflict of interest between long-term holders and the price, because basically we obviously want the price to go up to that $1 direction, but you know, but maybe surprisingly to you, if the price goes down, then the supply actually does get burnt quicker. So in the last Binance burn, we saw 6 billion tokens burnt, which was about $1.8 million worth in a 10-day period. So at the moment, I've done the calculation, and if it was just down to the Binance burns and that volume was kept the same, they'd be burning around 230 billion Lunar tokens at current price every single year. However, if the price, for example, halved right now, then they'll burn double the amount. So they'd burn 460 billion tokens. And obviously this is desirable to achieve our end goal of almost all the supply burnt, but at the same time, you know, the price going down by a half is not going to be desirable for most people. So do be prepared, you know, for investors who are not clued in, who got a shorter investing horizon, who bail out because they see these drops in price. And as long as you have a very long-term time horizon, then you should be okay. But do bear that conflict of interest in mind. Do share this video around as well. If you know anyone who's invested in Lunar Classic, show them this video, make them aware that they need to have a long-term time horizon, otherwise they will likely get burnt. But yeah, that's all I have to say in this video, really. Hopefully this was helpful for you. There's plenty of YouTubers out there who are talking about Lunar Classic right now, who will have some more information on the utility that's being developed on Lunar Classic. But otherwise, guys, hopefully we achieve our end goal of a $1 Lunar Classic. That would be absolutely amazing, and I really do believe that we will get there under the right circumstances. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next.